Good morning. We're starting a new sefer today. We'll be learning the sefer Mesillat Yesharim written by Rabbi Moshe Chaim Luzzatto. But the primary focus will be on the commentary. That the commentary is by the author of the Bilvavi Mishkan Evna, Rav Itamar Schwartz, which we've learned a different form of his. And just to give you an idea of how much commentary that is here, that this one volume that you see over here, this one volume, has within it just the introduction and the first chapter of the Mesillat Yesharim, which is only a small fraction of the entire Mesillat Yesharim. I understand they've also put out Chelik Beis, which only has one more chapter in the Mesillat Yesharim. So we could be on this forever, God willing. We should all be healthy and live to learn the entire series from cover to cover. So today we're going to start with the Mavo, the author's introduction, and his pieces are quite long. Each piece is an entire shir, and as we'll come to the Luzzatto himself, he takes a little paragraph and then goes for 10, 12 pages. But the information is fascinating. So I'll just begin, and if anybody has questions you could ask, and we'll just be learning together. We're learning this sefer together. Okay, we're on page Aleph, and you all have handouts, and we're making efforts to try to get a hold of the book, because I don't imagine us photocopying forever. But if you want the book, please speak to Yehudis, and we'll know how many books to order. Okay. Tofa Ravachas B'Dorenu Husifrei HaKitzurim Shenischabru B'Inyanim Shonim. One of the phenomena that has happened in this generation, that has spread out in this generation, is the production of the small, abridged Kitzurim works, small books with very little bit of information on these books, abridged books. I don't know what the good English word for a Kitzur, abridged books on different topics. Reader's Digest. Right, like Reader's Digest, right? Yochel Yehudi b'chol mokom shunimsa, Jew wherever he's found, b'yabosha b'avir b'yom, on land, in the air, in the sea. L'itol echad misifra kitzalol, you can just take this little book, these little small booklets with you. L'kabel musagim kol shehem b'nosei ha'medubar, and you can get a little bit of understanding of any topic of your choice. And you have this in the non-Jewish world as well, small. It's this whole thing now. Used to be, have books, well, let's go back 200 years to jolly old England. Charles Dickens would write books. Tell Mamish you could sleep on the book. It was so big. You give Leonard a copy. Books that are so thick, hundreds and hundreds of pages. And then, as time passed, the books got shorter. And now you have all over the place these small books, 50 pages. You can read it in one sitting, and it gives you a whole idea. And this idea has spread into the Jewish world as well. You can go to any bookstore, and you see a whole shelf of these little pocket-sized books. How to deal with anger, and just read it through. And you can do it in one sitting. Marriage, one sitting. All these things in one sitting. And in scholarly topics, not scholarly, but in halachic topics, you'll find that as well. Books that just give you, the final halacha in a very short version. So there's a lot of those around. Amnam bor l'chol echad she'en tachlis avodas ha'adam miboker vad laila lilmod sifrei kitzur. But it is clear that the goal of the service of a Jew from morning to night is not to read these abridged books all day long. Yesh lilmod es Torah Hashem b'makora. We're supposed to learn Torah going to the sources, umemakor like Yad Alach Lamaisa, and from the sources to come down to the final stage of the Jewish law. The way, if I teach a class, let's say on various laws of brachas, right? So you come to the class and I try to give you the laws as concise as possible. This is what you do, finished. Okay, but the real way to learn is you start with Chumash and you read the verse in the Torah that talks about you shall eat, you shall be satiated, and you shall thank God. And then you go to all the commentaries on that. and then you go to the Gemara that discusses what we learned from that. And then you go to all the commentaries of the Gemara, the Rishonim, the early rabbis. And then you finally go to the first stage of the ones who render the law. You'll learn the Torah, the son of the Rosh. And then you learn the Shulchan Aruch. And then you learn all the commentaries of the Shulchan Aruch. And then you finally come to the latter commentaries. And the latter commentaries. Until, if you're learning with me, we learn the Piskei Teshuvos, and then that tabulates everything we had, and you come to the final conclusion. It takes days and days and days to get to one law. But that's the way it's supposed to be learned. But I'll say, Rabbi, just give it to me fast. Tell me what to do. Okay, you want to know what to do. Even that takes a while. But I can tell you, okay, this is a bracha, this is a bracha, this is a bracha, that. But really, the way to learn is to learn things in depth. But not everybody's able to do this. You either don't have the time, the resources, the background. So therefore, people have written these abridged versions for others that are not engaged in this topic, or they're very busy. Or they just don't have the knowledge, broad enough knowledge to be able to come to this point of understanding, to the point of action. For whatever reason, there is a need to produce these books. To produce people that are working all day long, they don't have either the head for this or that, so they want things that are very quick and easy. Maybe that's why my classes in the morning are not so popular, because they're not so quick and easy. And now you'll see why the method to this madness is. Right? But people just, I want to know the laws of tzitzis. I want to know what to do about tzitzis. That's it. I want to tell them about tzitzis. So you can find in Hebrew, I have on my bookshelf a nice small abridged version. So that's good. I use them if I'm learning between Mincha Maariv, and the guys need to hear something for 5-6 minutes. I'm not going to begin a deep topic that takes hours and hours and do it 6 minutes a day. I go through the abridged version. I just, pick out a page. You already got one idea in 6 minutes, finished. And in English, you could find a similar book. Okay, so there is a need for that. Avol nenasa letzar lasmenu avrech ben Torah shekol yomo seder aleph, seder beis, seder gimel mukdash ach v'rak lelimud sifrei Kitzurim. So let's try to imagine, and this is not for you, but we'll get to us. Let's say a person who's learning in Kollel. Okay, a Kollel fellow. He's learning morning, afternoon, night, many hours a day. Let's say he spent his whole day learning abridged texts. First hour I learned this abridged text. Second hour I learned that abridged text. Kitzer halachas basar v'chalav. Kitzer halachas taruvas. First he learns the abridged version of kashrus, then the abridged version of this. Hayela dash zoy tziras halima. Do you think this is the real way he should be learning? No, he should be obviously learning everything in depth. Okay, but vade certainly shabalei batim shishatam einam pnuya utzrichim ledasas ha'maisa sheyasan. Certainly a balabai is a person who works, who has small amounts of time, and he needs to know what the law is. So he shouldn't stumble and do any averos v'yedu malasos, and to know what to do. Then obviously it makes sense that they learn these abridged texts. V'gam ben Torah, even a person who knows how to learn. But so on occasion he could take a look at one of these books, because maybe he's not holding and learning in that subject right now, and he'd like to learn briefly what that subject's about. Okay. But for this scholar, that's acceptable to look at an abridged version only if most of his day he's spending learning things in depth. He starts with the Talmud until he comes to the final rendition of the law. And in between, for things he's not engaged in, let's say, when he's having his lunch break, So while he's eating, he'll have a little sefer with a little abridged version, just, lighter reading to expand his knowledge. But that's, it's not his main thing. So Shamu lo make Yisrael, then he learns these abridged things. Certainly it doesn't make sense that a kollel man should be spending all day long learning abridged texts. Interesting. He puts in brackets that the mystical people say that people who learn abridged texts have abridged lives. Okay. If I don't have time to learn so much, I said, okay, so I'm not going to give you any time. If you want to learn things that take a long time, God will give you a long time. You understand? God gives you the time that you need. So if you say, I know everything, I've learned all the abridged texts. So God says, okay, so you're finished, good. So you're not planning on learning anymore.
Is completed.
That's right. So not the best thing to do, but that's a side point. Anyway, it's clear to us in Cain. Now let's look at other areas of Torah. For a person to reach the place of actual practical application, you have to learn in depth. You have to clarify the words till you reach to the place where you actually can implement. Now, Lumas also, you're going to wonder where's this taking us, because you say we're not kollel guys, and we are just regular batim, so what are you bothering us? Look, we want to learn the Kitzurim. Right? Lumas also, on the other hand, Kishmagim la'olam shel hahanhagos. Now we're going to go to another world, the world of conduct. There's the world of information, and there's the world of conduct. There's the world of, I want to know what the law is. Okay, that's one realm. But then there's the world of conduct. Al-hamidos v'avoda ha'atzmis. We're talking about character development. We're talking about one's essential service to God, one's relationship to God. This is where it's all happening in your Yiddishkeit. Okay, a person you could have non-Jews studying Talmud too all day long. Okay, members of the Catholic Church they buy the Art Scroll series, and you can be sure there's a full Art Scroll series in many dioceses, because that's the only place we're going to learn real Torah anyway. Where are they going to come with their drushes, right? So it's not a joke. I've seen it. I've seen them going into Jewish bookstores. So you can be a non-Jew and learn Torah. What of the whats, right? But that's not really where it's happening. It's really happening in your own personal service to Hashem. So there, unfortunately, there's also spread this concept amongst people that they figure, well, just tell me what I need to do. Next page, base. So then they look in these abridged books, for example, that are like, say, based on the Aleph base. For example, Ha'os Aleph, you know what Aleph teaches me? Muvos kol amidos sheshayachos la'Aleph. It gives you all the attributes you need under Aleph. To go in Emunah, Avos Hashem, faith, love of Hashem. So how do you do that? Very like one-liners. Both bays, Mashach lebays. So under the bays, what do you get from a base? Bitachon, trust in God. And we think Shekachol Shasefer Yarech Pachos V'Yakatzer Yoser. We figure that the less a book makes it big, and the more it makes things small, right? But just gives us the tips. What should I be doing? So we figured, now I've got the gist of what's desirable in terms of how to contend with arrogance or anger. And how to acquire emunah v'tachon. In other words, you have this book on anger, so it's a nice thin book on anger, 40 pages, and says, okay, if you're dealing with people that are uncomfortable, this is what you do. Think before you speak. Think, what if you would do this? Would you want other people to do this to you? And give you these quick, easy tips. And that's on the ground level. This is what you do. You hear, because the bottom line is, I shouldn't be an angry person. So I'll read, I don't have to read all the background information about anger. Just give me the final thing. What do you do to not get angry? So they give you the tips. Okay, just follow the tips, and I'm not going to get angry anymore. Just like, what bracha? Tell me what bracha to make on the apple. Well, you got to know what it says in the word. I don't want to know the word. Just tell me what bracha to make on the apple. So just tell me what I do not to get angry. Tell me what to do not to be arrogant. And we think that that's the same way it works. Kiyumefo pe'er otsum. That finished it, yeah. Bein hatvisa ha'iyunim ha'limudim shodu makir b'chelek ha'gemor v'alacha l'bein chelek tikkun amidus v'avodas adam al atzmo. But there exists, however, a great difference between grasping these concepts of learning concepts such as gemor and halacha, between the area of repairing one's midos and a person's working on himself. There's a big difference between the two. In halacha, it's clear you can't reach the final halacha with just a couple minutes of learning. You have to learn the topic over a couple days. It can take you a week or 2 weeks. Then you can come to the final law. But on the other hand, when we talk about our own personal service, there is an inkling, a yearning to want to just know what to do. In other words, he's talking to people in the yeshivish world. He's talking to the people in the yeshiva world. They're willing to spend hours and hours of figuring out the Gemara and then the halacha. When it comes to character development, just give me a quick little pamphlet and I'll understand it. That's what appears to exist. So now, certainly the desire to know what to do as a good Jew in terms of character development is a positive quality. But here's the point. But to just search out what I need to do alone, that's not a possible way to succeed. Because in this way the person isn't really learning the essential concepts. He's just learning the abridgments. When the person reflects on this and he understands that all areas of Torah are deep, they're all with an inner content. There's no such thing as a superficial aspect of Torah. There are superficial wisdoms in the secular world. In Torah, it's all deep. It's deep, wider than the oceans. And to merit it, you have to learn it very deeply. A Jew is busy making a parnasa, and he's able to get an hour a night to learn. Just like they teach him abridgments of laws, it's possible to teach people abridged ways of conduct. So, what can you do? He doesn't have any time. But a ben Torah, someone who learns Torah many hours, and he learns Torah in depth. So in terms of conduct, he has to learn it in depth as well. So the first point he's saying is that although abridged versions are very enticing, and people like to cut corners, right? So number one, that's never the way to really learn. Really, you should learn things in depth, because everything in Yiddishkeit is in depth. If you learn the laws of brachas, just rattle off the laws, then it's a memorization game. But what about the concepts? It's better to learn the concepts. If you understand the concepts, then that becomes more in the whole gestalt is in your head. And then it's easier. First of all, it's easier to remember things. Certain halachas you can go over 1,000 times, you never remember. What do you do? What do you do if you're not sure if you counted Sfira the night before? Can you continue to count with a bracha or not? You don't remember that law. Okay, let me look at my abridged book. Yes, you can still count with a bracha. Good, I know the law. Okay, so fine, you know the law. But why'd you forget it? You looked it up last year also. Right? The answer is because that was the law. So if it comes up again, I'll look in the book again. But it's not part of you. It's not part of you. You have to learn the concepts. What does it mean? Why? What's revolving around a doubtful situation? Doubtful situations regarding Sphira are different than doubtful situations regarding making a bracha, or doubtful situations regarding saying Shema and things like that. So you have to learn what's the concepts. You have to get conceptually the ideas so that these laws become part of it. Fine, but you can still get away with it. You can still get away with it. Okay, as long as you got the book, you can look it up. Okay. But what he's going to tell us now, what the focus for the rest of this chapter is, when you're talking about your own personal growth as a person who has a flaw in character, and you want to change that flaw in character, don't be fooled by these abridged books. They may give you the steps what to do, but he's going to explain to you why it's not possible to succeed with these abridged ideas. And you talk about other many self-help programs that exist around the world. If you notice, they're very brief, because they realize if you're going to give a person who needs a lot of help a huge book, they ain't got the patience for it, because how do you think they got themselves into trouble in the beginning? Right? There's not large Torahs. Let's talk about, let's say, the 12-step program. Why people like it? Because it's abridged. Now, anybody who just reads the 12 steps will fail. Why not? That's what you got to do. Well, there's a whole Torah behind it, as it were. I mean, there's psychologists and books of psychology. It doesn't help by itself. These are the 12 steps. Big deal. I went through the 12 steps. I had rehab. Still isn't going to do anything for you, right? You need a total overhaul of the system. You have to understand who you are, what a human being is. So 12 steps, they're very correct, those 12 steps. For sure they are. But they're based on a person cultivating within himself over years what has to transpire within the person himself. So it's a little bit misleading. I'm not saying it's bad. It's misleading. Oh, the 12 steps saved me. It's not the 12 steps. It's everything that was built around it. So now you see. Okay, I don't want to get 12-step people upset with me. If it works for them, they should use it. But you see, it's the best that the non-Jews can come up with. It's the best that they can come up with is an abridged thing, but really without going to the support groups, they're going to fail. Yiddishkeit would offer ways that you wouldn't need support groups, where you learn real Torah, then that will change you as the person, and then you're not going to need so much. You're going to need some support, but not so much support. Now, obviously, a person who's addicted needs a lot of support. And they don't have the patience to read through volumes of books. But the solutions are there. And what he'll show us, especially for Jews, the solutions are there. But this is something that takes years. That would take years. Now, the difference being, what I would suggest is the following. With the self-help, the 12-step, at the end of the day, they believe once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. I don't know if this Torah necessarily agrees to that. I don't know if it necessarily agrees to it. Because the Torah says there's something called tshuva. And the secular world doesn't understand this concept of tshuva. Well, they can't, because it only works for Jews. It only works for Jews. Let me explain.
You don't need secular?
Yes, secular, non-Jews. In other words, you're an alcoholic. What do they call it? A sickness. It's a permanent sickness. Yeah, it's a permanent sickness because you're not really getting to the core of who you are. But Judaism believes in tshuva. The Rambam clearly says, what is tshuva? Tshuva, if you do a sincere tshuva, it's as if you never did the Aveira in your life. So if a person was addicted to anything, right, A proper tshuva means you never did it. And then, the proper tshuva, it's not meant, I'll never touch a glass of wine again. You know what? Because that's not the way God wants you to live. In His Torah, He says He wants you to drink wine. But I can't control myself. Oh. So now you have to learn what it means to be a Jew. You have to learn what it means to be a human being. You have to learn a lot of things. And B'davka, the Torah tells you, in the very areas where you sinned, is the very areas where you're going to do mitzvahs. It's not that, I did an avera with this thing, and now I want to, let's say a person was immoral. Once I was immoral, I'll never be with a woman again. Now, we certainly can't say that. Let's say a person had an affair. Okay, to make sure I'll never have an affair again, I will remove one of my body parts. Therefore, I can never be immoral again. And then I'll succeed. Or I will just never engage in this activity. That's not what God wants you to do. He wants you to learn how to use that gift properly. That's what He wants you to do. So a person had an addiction to something, all right? To alcohol. Okay, so certainly for a certain amount of time, he has to stay away from it, no question about it. But do you think God's will is for the rest of his life he shouldn't make kiddush on wine? And get away with grape juice? And the halacha is you have to drink wine. Now certainly for a long period of time he'll have to stay away from it, because he doesn't have any tools to stop himself. But eventually Hashem wants him to drink wine. Okay, so in a world that doesn't have the tools to transform the human being, so now they have to do the best that they can, and it's very laudable what they're suggesting. Don't ever touch it, because they don't have the tools. The non-Jewish world does not have the tools to take a Jew and bring a Jew back to who he really is. They don't. So therefore, the best, second best, and it works. Okay, it works. It works in taking care of some of the symptoms. Takes care on a certain level. But you have these people saying, without my the helper, if it was able to culprit, I wouldn't have made it. Okay, a Jew should be able to make it on his own too. He needs help a certain amount of time. But eventually, how do you know you really are back to normal? Where you understand that Friday night you drink a revius of wine, Shabbos day you drink a revius of wine, Motzei Shabbos you drink a revius of wine for Havdalah. When there's a simcha, occasionally you make a l'chaim, one, and that's it. You come to Purim, you drink wine on Purim, and you get drunk on Purim only. That's what the Torah says to do. So you're meant to live your rest of your life not following the Torah? So it might take you 5 years to change who you are. But to say that, otherwise God wouldn't mean you not to do this stuff. But see, God can't do that. You can't do that because you want to go through the abridged version. You're not going through the really difficult part of digging deep into who you really are, and to bring out all kinds of new areas within who you can be, right? So but obviously this approach, is not so exciting. How many people every day let's learn a few more pages, and take years and years and years, and then the work, the exercises that you have to do on yourself. That's where the real answers lie. But we live in a world of people don't have patience for it. I have trouble. Help me now. Fix me now. Give me a pill. For every problem, a pill is a solution. I'm getting angry. I'm going to have a very stressful meeting here. Take this pill. You won't yell at the meeting. Take a lorazepam. It'll whatever, and it will calm you down. You won't get so angry to me. What are you talking about, calm? Why should you even be upset? Look, you can't control yourself. So now why don't you learn how to control yourself? But the problem is you don't even know who you are, so you don't even know what you're controlling. Right? You're a hostage to your yetzer. Okay, so now you take a pill. The pill will. You can't lose weight. So you take a pill. You can't lose weight. Now they have this for $20,000. They can give you a surgery that I don't even know what it is. It's a way to close up the not stapling. It's a different one now. It's one like almost. It's like a valve. Whatever, a band, a gastric band, where you make it that the person can't eat, not so much can go through, so you have to eat less. You cannot eat more. Then you lose the weight, and then, over time they hope, well, let's eat a little bit more. So they loosen the valve a little bit, so you can eat a little bit more. Hopefully you find a happy medium. If you don't, we tighten it back up again. And they give you guaranteed service the rest of your life. Or until the company goes broke. This is more likely to happen, right? So in other words, what are you doing? I can't control myself. This little band will control me. You're going to spend $20,000 on that. There's a reason why you can't control yourself. You know why? Because you're a behemoth. You look at yourself like a behemoth, an animal. So an animal needs to be controlled. Yeah, there is an animalistic part to you, but you also and primarily are a soul. So why don't you learn what it means to live like a soul, and a soul doesn't worry about fressing. Oh, that's very hard, Rabbi. I'd have to spend a lifetime studying. So that's what God gave you a lifetime for, didn't He? Right? So people don't want to do that because you got to learn it, and you got to start applying it. You got to start living like a soul. I don't want to live like a soul. I want to live like an animal. I want to live like an animal. So now give me all the tools that will keep the animal in check. That's not. God didn't bring you in this world to live that way. But in this world to live naturally the way you're supposed to live as a neshama. And if you live that way, then you don't need all these things, right? But it's a world of shortcuts because we're lazy animals. Lazy, rational animals want shortcuts, right? The whole work ethic is out the tubes. So this is the tzaddik is saying. You're going to see it just does not work. There's no such thing as abridged books regarding self-development, and he's going to explain why. We might not get it all today, but at least twice a week, at least we can get one idea done in 1 week. Okay, I believe we're at the top, at the bottom? Yeah. Bottom page base. But here's the real question we have to deal with today. I'm sorry. But why do we need to learn this part of Torah in depth? About character development, about how to act. What is there to look deeply in? These are just practical questions. You go, okay, Rabbi, my wife's a little bit upset with me. Give me some advice. What should I do? So give me 5 things to do, and I'm finished. Right? If she got angry because I said certain things, tell me what to say to them, what not to say. Give me 5, 6 easy steps. I'll remember that. So what do you mean? Well, it's going to take hours and years and in depth. Well, what's in depth? Just tell me what to do. Next page, Gimel. So he said, Mashal Madar Zoma. What can we compare such a question to? So say a guy goes to a city he doesn't know, he's not familiar with it. He wants to know directions to get to a particular store. He goes all around, he asks people how to get there. Formally he says, listen, turn to the right, the next intersection go left, then make another right, you get to your direction. So he thinks, well, listen, working on your character is like getting directions. Right? Even directions we don't want to spend any time anymore. Just by the GPS. Finished. So we want to have a GPS for our lives as well. Just tell me. Wouldn't you like to have your husband, a little thing inside you, what's the name? Lola. Lola say a pleasant good morning to wife now. In 50 kilometers, in 50 meters, you will bring her a gift of flowers. Okay, and then of course you forgot the flowers. You come in the door, recalculate, go back to the store, right? Say I love you. Say it again. Oh, she's not reacting. Say I'm sorry. And just tell me what to do. Cyrano de Bergerac.
Rabbi, I think you just invented the next thing.
Right? So the guy figures, just get the directions. Right? So now, Ha'im Biktei Lo. Okay, there's a lot. We could do a good routine on this. Maybe it'll be a high holiday. I think a high holiday drush. That would be good. Remind me. It'd be a good high holiday drush. If you had a GPS for marriage.
Remember we got a whole GPS thing to marriage.
Whatever, yeah. Anyway, if you want to know directions to a place, do you really have to go in depth? You got to learn pages and pages of Talmud to know how to get to the grocery store. All you know is a little memory. You just have to know a little bit of which streets to go. From Magiel Liad, he's going to get to his destination. What's the big deal? Do you know? No, you have to know. You want to know how to get to the you want to know how to get to the pizza shop here? You have to know the cartography of the world. You know the geography of all the continents. And you have to know all the names of the oceans. And you have to know the land mass here and this and that and everything. Till you have to go 2 years to university to know everything about all the soil in the world. Till finally, okay, now when you're in this particular piece of soil, you go 86 degrees. What do you have? It's a right turn. It's a right turn. 86 degrees longitude, 26 degrees latitude. Take your steps on a vertical incline of 0.6, and then you go. Just say it's a right turn. Right? So we think our lives, our marriages are the same thing. You see? So why do I got to go into so much depth in order to acquire proper behaviors? Your arrogance. Okay, look up. Okay, take my book. Gaiva, Gimel, Gaiva. What does the little book say? Okay, here. Do this and this. End of the arrogance. You have anger. Do this. You want to acquire belief in God? Do this and this. Haras Maisis, go to the rabbi, get practical application. What's missing? Let's fill it in. Let's take care of it. Finished. Right? That's the question. Why can't it be that easy? Right? The answer is stuck, comes out of an understanding the whole makeup of the creation and the human being that was made up through Hashem. Hashem gave us the Torah. Also, we learn it, we try to fulfill the Torah that God gave us. V'nefesh ha'adam, here's the key. V'nefesh ha'adam hi'akli l'kabel es or ha'torah ha'kedosha mitzvaseh. The soul of the human being is the utensil, is the receptacle to receive the light of the holy Torah in its mitzvahs. Everything in Judaism revolves around that Torah. That Torah is that instruction manual for life, and that Torah is deep and big. But what's important, and this is the point that we're going to learn about, is that how does the Torah get into you? What you're learning needs a receptacle. What is the receptacle of the Torah? You'll see, it's not your brains. It's your soul. The soul is the receptacle of the Torah. Let's say a person works to get a payment, to get wages. And let's say they have direct deposit. He works this month, they put the $5,000 in the bank. If you look in terms of jurisprudence, the guy didn't put $5,000 in your hand, he put it in your bank account. Now, according to Canadian law, has the guy been paid? What do you mean? I don't have it in my hand. What are you talking about? How did he pay me? What are you talking about? It's in your bank account. So in terms of things, you could have things even though it's not in your hand. Even though you didn't look at it. You didn't even look at your bank account for a month. But you've been paid and your net worth is $5,000 more. Even though you don't have it in your hand. But it is that money isn't tied to his essence. So that's only a monetary ownership, but it's not who you are. That $5,000 isn't your essence. It's something that you are an owner of. but it's not who you are. Hefkidu es hakesav avuro, hu kanaso. They've deposited the money, he's acquired it. He is the owner of the money, even though the money isn't essentially him. And again, the secular world makes a big mistake, and you think your money is you. You can't say the money is the guy. Adam hu Adam, the man's the man, but the money is the money. And a person can own a lot of things, even though it isn't who he is. It's good stuff. But the Holy Torah, after a person learns it, it's not in the category that it's sitting in the corner. It's a Talmudic expression. Somebody says, the Torah is sitting in the corner and it's not coming into people. He says, before you learn Torah, Omeris, what does the Gemara say? The Gemara says, the Gemara says, the Torah is in a corner. Whoever wants it can get it. The Torah is there. It's in the Aron HaKodesh. Take it out and learn it. If you don't learn it, it's in the corner. It's not yours. Let's say you now study, you work on Torah. He nikras Torah. It's called his Torah. It's my Torah now. My Torah. It's not something that's lying around in the bank. In a safety deposit box somewhere. I learned Torah and it's in a safety box. I bought the Art Scroll Shas. I put it in my bookcase. It's safe now. I own Shas. You own Shas, but you don't have any. It's still in the corner. The Torah has to get into you. Into your innards. The Torah has to be in your innards. So now, let's finish this one idea. Give me another 2 minutes. Let's say you take a clean cup and put nice clean water into a clean cup. The water is clean. You take a filthy schmutzig cup. You put clear water in a filthy glass. You've dirtied up the water and the water is wasted. You can't drink the water anymore. No. The Torah, the Holy Torah, and the mitzvahs we're supposed to do are compared to water. It says, "Have he called Thu May? Whoever is thirsty, let him drink water." The tool is the person who learns and does. You are the tool. If he fulfills the words, next page, Ubona as Asa builds himself up in a fitting way, he becomes a clean utensil. The Torah that's compared to water that goes into you, Nikras Torah Tahara, Kadosh, it's called a holy, pure Torah. The person can drink and nurse and nurture from the well of the Holy Torah. In other words, you understand what he's beginning to say now. He's saying a Jew, the only thing a Jew has, his secret to life, is Torah. This is it. When God created the world, the first 2 things he created was the Torah and the Jewish soul. That's before the world was created. A Jew lives on Torah. Without Torah, we're dead. Non-Jews don't understand this at all. They don't have to do it. They don't have to understand this. Right? So now, you need to absorb Torah. The Torah has to go into you. Now, that Torah is the panacea of everything in life. But what's got to go into you is real Torah, not phony Torah. You could take any sefer and you can dirty all that Torah that's going into you. Right? So now you've got to have a clean receptacle for that Torah to do something. How are you going to get that clean receptacle? By reading an abridged book? No. So that's the whole point of life, is you have to become that pure receptacle that is able to absorb all that Torah. And that Torah transforms you into a different entity, totally. Now we're going to find out that Derech Eretz Kadma Torah. Before you can even have Torah, you have to what we call Derech Eretz, Midos. Without proper Midos, all that Torah going in is going to get all sludged up. It's going to get messed up. And yet you'll read, yeah, you're right, the Torah says there's 5 things you should do to not get angry, but it's going in a sludged mind that will distort and twist all those ideas. It's not going to make any sense for the person at all. Okay, we'll have to continue tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, to get the full understanding of what he's saying here.